Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andrea Stevens,
And I'm Jeanette Mejias, and we are Web's Women.
where exposure brings strength. Hey,
Well,
hey, hey.
hello there, girl. How are you?
Good, good. I start this episode every time. Hello, hello, hello.
Well,
It
you're
gets
like a little energy bunny, I feel. Like you're bringing me so much life right now.
with my hello, hello, hello
Yes,
in
yes.
my hoodie, just hanging out here.
It's all
Happy,
good.
happy.
That's awesome. I'm happy it's a short week for me.
Yes.
We're right before Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? Do you have any traditions? I mean, I know things look very different for all of us this year, but is there anything that, any traditional dishes you usually have to have on the table? Or you're keeping
No,
it easy peasy?
let me tell you, it is, everybody says it's so different. And I'm thinking it is not, it's really not different for us for the holidays because we're
Okay.
always by ourselves.
Okay.
We've moved so much, and before we moved to New Jersey, we averaged every year and a half moving from state to state, and we didn't know anyone. So in all the
Mm,
states we've lived, every holiday, if my parents don't come, which they don't usually, when my dad was alive, he did come.
okay.
He ended up coming for 2 years for Christmas. So that was the first time I've had anybody Christmas morning with me for years, since I
Oh,
probably moved to Arizona in 2003.
wow.
I
Okay.
came home for a couple of Christmases and that was about it. I stayed in Arizona for Christmas. Um,
Oh, how nice.
yeah, but I was by myself, unless
Oh,
I was
okay.
with people that I worked with or some friends. Um, but I didn't have my family with me. So this holiday, my husband's going to work during the day, um, do a couple of things that, you know, do a
Mm-hmm.
few things. And me and my son will be home doing crafts. We'll be doing some
Oh,
little arts
nice.
and crafts together.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, but dinner,
Yeah.
we all eat. I eat differently now. I mean, I can't eat a normal meal. A normal Thanksgiving meal, any holiday meal I've ever had in my life, the Italian holiday meal, I can't have anymore.
Okay.
Um, you know, I eat all anti-inflammatory foods these days.
There's nothing wrong with
Oh,
that. I
oh,
think,
the joy of getting older.
yes, I think, traditions are what you make of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that certain holidays or certain staples on the dining table, but, culturally, everyone's different. I know in
Yeah.
my culture, you have to have roasted, pork, which we call it pernil. And I
Mhm.
remember one year I hosted, I think it was one of the last years that I hosted at my house. I used to host Thanksgiving for 10 years straight and I just got tired. And
Mm.
then I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. And I remember the last time I had hosted, I wanted to do everything traditional, the turkey with the fixings and all of that. And my family was like, well, where's the where's the pernil?
What
What's going
is
on?
this?
And I'm like, oh, we're not having that. We're going to have that for Christmas. This is Thanksgiving. We're having just a turkey. Because when I serve that, no one eats the turkey. And I spent a lot of time seasoning the turkey, cooking. They're like, oh, God, like, we don't want to hear it. We wanted the
Yeah.
pork. It's just
Yeah.
funny. It's funny. But things
Now we
change.
never had my whole life, my family, no turkey. They hated turkey, my whole family.
Well,
So
there's
we
some
had
people that
homemade.
don't like turkey. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my whole family, my whole life growing up, we never ate turkey ever. So we always had homemade macaroni and
Oh,
homemade
nice.
sauce and, meatballs. And
Nice.
we had the Italian meal,
Mm,
usually a ham. So they would
nice.
have the
Yes.
ham and then the pasta.
Nice.
So that was, and then when I went to my other grandmother's house, she'd always have turkey there if we wanted it. But I never ate turkey really growing up. Everything we filled up on macaroni,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Again, that goes, back to the culture.
yeah, yeah. And my son loves the homemade macaroni. So
Oh,
I may
yeah.
make that.
Nice.
I was gonna actually try to order out and pick up. So I didn't have to do anything for anyone and I could just make my own little meal. Um, but we'll see. I may just make homemade macaroni.
That sounds so good.
Now that I have the machine, it's easy. My grandma years ago made it by hand, cut everything by hand. She days earlier, she'd put it in the cold room so it could get dry out.
Oh,
And so
wow.
that's my whole life. That's how it's been,
Mm.
where I would go in and smell the room because the room smelled like the homemade macaroni. So I would
Oh,
go in and I'd open the door in my great grandmother's this room closet that they had a huge closet in, and she'd had
oh,
everything laid out drying in there. And I used to open and just
oh
smell
my
the
God.
homemade
I'm getting
macaroni as a kid.
hungry.
And
I'm
then they'd
getting
be like,
hungry.
don't go near the macaroni, you know? So,
Wow,
but yeah,
that's so nice. That's a nice memory too.
yeah, yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
so this Thanksgiving will be different, but the same,
Okay.
you know?
So
Yeah.
I really love the gratitude challenge that you've been on. That you
Yeah.
kind of started off. Was it the whole month of November or?
Yeah. So yeah, it
Okay.
was the whole month. Someone, and I'm not close friends with this person, and I couldn't even tell you. I just saw the post as I was going by, and I said to her, "I'm totally going to do this."
Nice.
Um,
So yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's really neat.
I think, you know what, I decided to do it because typically depending on how I feel each day, I would post different things in the morning, whether it was a motivational Monday or, a trajectory Tuesday or
Hmm.
a throwback Thursday, whatever it was. And I posted those things mostly, because I was feeling those things and I felt like other people might be feeling the same way. So that's why I would post them. But when I saw the gratitude challenge, I thought to myself, you know what? How cool will it be? I'm not going to read these. I saw it, but I didn't want to read them all to see the topics. I wanted to be surprised on so
Okay.
I don't even know. Like I'll go tomorrow and look and see what tomorrow's is what is tomorrow? What is tomorrow? The
Thursday.
26th,
Hmm.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. So I'll look and see what it is, and then I will find something and think about it. And you know what I like is I sat there and I would think all these different. I'll look for different pictures. I'll scroll through some of my pictures, or I'll go on and look at some things like on my computer, and I'll look at all these memories of like things I've taken before.
Mhm.
So the other day I posted a picture of a blue sky. That picture was taken over the summer months.
Okay.
So I sometimes I take pictures and I don't go back and look at them. So I get reminded. So the memories are there.
Mm.
One of the days I posted was me and my cousin in in Italy with having too much prosecco. But I love that video and it reminds me of
Never
how
too much
happy.
prosecco.
I know. She will say, yeah, apparently in Italy they're going to have it on tap. So she's super excited to go back. But yeah, but you know what? I love that video and it makes me laugh. I can sit and watch it over and over and over and over and I laugh because
I
I
love that.
remember being in that elevator at that time. I remember the conversation we had that night after we got down to the bar because we were not even at the bar yet. Um, but I remember just that day and that night, and it was the night before we actually were coming home. So there's so much with that memory. It's not just the video that I posted, but
Hmm.
it's the memory that I think about and I go back to. So it's not just, I guess, it's the gratitude. I'm thankful for those things, but it's also the memories that pop up and where I go with it because I take it obviously when you think about things and you look back on past memories, you think about more than just what that video was. Other people see it
Yes,
as just that video, but for me and for her, it took us back to a whole different time, you know?
I love that.
So
And I think that doing that brings you joy, finding the joys, right?
yes, yes. Cause yeah, I mean, something, so today or the other day was the blue skies, something nice, I think it was.
Hmm. Hmm.
Something nice. And I'm thinking something nice. So it's not like spectacular. It's not like, okay, what do I enjoy that's just pleasant
Hmm.
and nice,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, a blue sky.
I have to tell you, I love like clouds. I can gaze at clouds. my kids, like, when we take drives, I'm like, "Oh my god, look at that beautiful cloud," and,
Yeah.
look at it looks like a character, and, like, I mean, I love to just gaze at the sky and the clouds and
Yeah.
all that.
It brings you
Yeah,
happiness.
it does, it brings me joy.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, especially, I feel anytime we're coming up on a holiday, it really becomes extremely challenging for a lot of folks.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Despite, coronavirus or not, holidays are hard. And
Yeah.
it's different. It's definitely a different time for us. And I think that when you
There's
put yourself
also
in a mindset of, okay, things are like this now, but what can I do to spark a joy in me, or
yeah.
to kind of get your mind off of these events that could really cause, some form of sadness for some
Yeah.
people.
Well, because I think too, there's, people that have lost family members, parents,
Yeah,
children. I mean, those things they're there and
yeah,
they don't go away. They don't go away and they're worse during the holidays. And sometimes you think of the
yes,
memories that when you were with them and
yes,
it's sad. And I'm not saying I'm happy, my gratitude challenge, yay, but that I mean, I miss my being with my family for the holidays. And so when I think back on those days back when I went home and actually traveled back home for the
hmm
holidays, a lot of it was before my son was born. Thanksgiving, though, we did go back for a few years in a row recently. So that's a little bit different. But with my dad gone too, I think of that at Christmas. I
yeah,
think of that every
sure,
single year. It's there.
yeah,
I'm going to cry just thinking about it. But
yeah, yeah. It's tough. It's doesn't get easier.
no, it doesn't. Not at all.
And I think
If anything,
unless,
harder. For a lot of people, it's harder. As the
yes,
years go on,
oh yeah,
it's like, they say time heals, and I think time helps you have the conversation,
mm,
but the grief is still there.
yes,
It still pops up every now and again. And it's
yeah.
just sometimes you're stronger at certain times, and sometimes you're just not.
hmm And, for me, you know, I lost my dad very young. So I don't remember my dad. I
Yeah.
was three and a half
Yeah.
years old. But now that, you know, my mom, as you know, is living with dementia, very progressive. And I know that she's not going to pass away from dementia, but, she will be called home whenever the Lord calls her home. And I know for me, just trying to prepare myself for that, because that to me, I know that that's when I'm going to be impacted in losing a parent, because I have not experienced that. And, um, you know, tr-
The hardest part is thinking you can prepare.
right. And you can't,
And you
right.
can't. And it doesn't
Yeah.
feel the way you thought it would feel. It doesn't linger days later as like you thought.
Yeah.
Nothing happens the way you think you've prepared yourself.
And that's
That's
so true, because I hear that from others that lost, a loved one or a parent. And I think there's no way to prepare for loss and
yeah.
grieving. It's in my mind, I'm thinking, you know because everything lands on me as an only child, I have to take all the responsibility, when that time comes. But just trying to stay strong for whenever that day comes. And
Yeah.
even though I'm a strong person, but even strong people have, their moments of weakness. So, but we find
Well,
strength in that.
yeah, you do. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at the people that show up and the people
Yes.
that come and that are there. And then sometimes they have had this experience before but sometimes they're just your rock and they don't
Yep.
know how you're feeling, but they're just there.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, it's a roller coaster ride of emotions. And I guess,
Mhm.
you know,
I feel that God puts the right people in your life to help you navigate those
yeah.
seasons
Oh
and,
yeah.
adjust those sales of yours, and, I just hold on to that. But,
Yeah. I mean, I will tell you this, it doesn't matter at this point, at this age that I'm at, I won't go into all of
you're,
it, but
you're
at the,
still young, Andrea.
yeah, but you know what? As soon as I think, you know what? So I used to say, once you have a child, like, this is what's happened to me. Once I had a child, I cry at everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you
that's
talk to me about
hormones.
your mom and I cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you talk about,
Well,
anything and I
you're
could,
crying and I'm crying. I
I
can't.
say,
I can't see anybody crying because then I start crying.
that's how I am. And I used to blame it on having a child, and now I blame it on menopause.
Yes.
And and I'm like, what can I blame it on? In the next 5 years. But
Yeah.
I mean, I cried at Hallmark the other day. It had to do with a veteran, and she got her dog back, and I cried like a baby about that animal and that veteran and that girl. And I cried my eyes out. And my son looked at me and goes, "What are you crying about?" I was like, "The dog." It was just a happy homecoming on a Hallmark movie that, hey.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
mean, when I say sob, I mean, I needed Kleenex. It was
Yes.
like, woof.
Yes.
The dogs get me every time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Uh,
Especially when you have those cute fur babies,
yes, yes.
four-legged babies at home. So,
Yeah. The little guys.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So anyway, yeah. So I mean, I guess, I think I think talking about strength, because I know we like to talk about strength. I
Oh,
think finding strength is sometimes it's within yourself. Sometimes it is the strength coming from other people. Sometimes sometimes that strength is in your dog. Sometimes you
yeah.
pull that strength from wherever you can pull it from.
Strength
And
is
then
from your coffee.
strength is from your coffee.
Find it all over the place.
Strength is from just going for a walk and looking at the
Yes.
sky.
Yep.
Uh, I think really strength comes from a lot of different places.
Absolutely.
And if you try hard enough, you can get out of you're emotional, or you feel sad, or you feel angry, that your family's no longer there. There's sometimes that anger comes. That's why I say roller coaster of emotions. But I still believe that if you try hard enough, you can find the happy, find the thankful, find the grateful,
Yes.
you know, and it's
I
there
agree.
somewhere.
I agree
It's
with
there
you.
somewhere. And sometimes it's hard to get out of, it's hard to get out of the funk.
It
It
is.
is.
We're all
Um,
human, and um, I think it's important for us as a society to really be in tune with yourself. You know what your triggers are. You
right.
know what upsets you. You know what you can tolerate. You know
Hmm.
how far you can go.
Yeah.
Nobody knows you better than you. And
Right.
I think I had to take a step back because things that normally would not affect me started to affect me. And
Mhm.
I actually, um, I was part of this self care group that is run by a mentor of mine, Barb Klein. I mentioned her a couple of episodes ago. She's really wonderful. She leads a really great series, and it's great because it's a safe space. It's very intimate. It's only a few people, and she just has a lot of thought provoking questions and so on. So anyhow, fast forward, I've attended a couple of her sessions because they run in series. And I do
Mhm.
it more for myself because it just keeps me in alignment and fine tuning myself and all of that. And this wasn't a series, it was just one like class for like 2.5 hours or something like that. And it was the first time that I was silent. I
Mm.
barely said anything. I barely shared. And I'm always the first to unmute myself and share with the group. And again, you don't have to share if you don't want to. It's always like if you call to share, you share. If you don't want to,
Mm.
that's okay. But I can tell as me and her, look at each other through the screen, I could see in her eyes that she's talking to me saying, "What's going on?" Like,
Yeah.
and in the end, I did disclose, I thanked everyone, and I did disclose that usually I am very open, like I'm an open book. But for the first time, I decided to just internalize. Um, and I felt that if I did in the space I was in at that moment in time, I was very transparent and said, I'm hurting. Everything hurts me. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
everything's hurting me. The news hurts me. My, things that surround me in my life are hurting me. Um, everything hurts. And I feel, like everything's just inside me. But in listening to everyone, I was able to kind of, by the time it was over, I felt so differently than when I came in the room.
Mm.
And I'm so thankful that these women were just so incredibly, they share such incredible tools and things that they do, which,
Yeah.
I wrote down that, wow, I could do that. Or, oh, you know what's a good idea. And when I hung up, I was like, I'm so glad I made it because I had so many obstacles not even to make it. Um, but again, it's it's just really showing up and um and not
Yeah.
knowing what's going to come out on the other side, but knowing that you're going to come out better than when you came in. So the whole point of me sharing that is that
Yeah.
we know when we're not on our own A game. And so to your point, Andrea, we we know how to find strength in ourselves, but when we see ourselves going in a path that is really funky, you can be funky for a day or two, but when it's now a pattern, you
Yeah.
have to kind of hit that button and say, I got to get out of this funk.
Right.
Whether it means
Right.
I need to start to journal, or hey, you know what, let me hop on this gratitude challenge, or whatever
Yeah.
is going to spark you joy
Yeah.
or get you out of that, pull you out.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
It is. It is. I mean, you have to let your emotions go. You have to let it out. You want to cry, cry. You want to be angry, angry. You
Absolutely.
want to yell, yell. I mean, you want to put it all over the book, feel free. I mean, whatever. It's your business. But if it gets it out there and you want to do that, do it. Do whatever you want to do to get it out. But then at some point, you'll find at some point down the line, it won't last forever. You'll
Yes,
get out of that. You'll be able to get out of that and move on. So I think
absolutely.
it's super important. And yeah, you're right. You didn't have to go to that. You could have made every excuse when you don't feel right or good or emotionally stable. You don't want to go to things. You make excuses.
And I
I'm
have
there.
to
I've
tell
done it.
you, even when I showed up, I was not at 100 on that
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
I took myself off screen for a good while.
Mm.
Um, I struggled with the prompting that she would prompt you to, write down the following or what comes to mind.
Hmm.
I was struggling because
Yeah.
again, but I knew like I required, which is a better word, I
Hmm.
required to be in that format because if anything, I knew that it was going to chisel away
Yeah. Yeah.
where I was at, and it exactly did that. And I was
Yeah.
looking for that. I think when you're looking for something, you're going to get what you're looking for. You want to
Yeah.
find, joy, you're going to get joy. You want to find,
Yeah.
misery and company in your misery, you're going to find it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all about, your mind, how to get that mind
Yeah.
like in alignment. And again, going back to your point, Andrew, which I love, drawing back to what brings you strength and staying in that course.
Yeah. I mean, you got to try, right? I mean,
Yeah, really.
you got to try. There can be a whole bunch of shit going on around you that's not great.
Yeah,
I mean, but you got to try.
you got that
Yeah.
right. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So,
That's
so,
awesome.
so thankful, thankful Thursday is this week.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving. Give thanks.
Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I can say this, and I think we can wrap up um, saying what we're thankful for. I'm definitely thankful, that I get to wake up every day. And I'm healthy. I can open up my eyes. I have air in my lungs. I'm
Yeah.
thankful for you, our friendship, and how it's,
Me too.
blossomed and the things that we're doing together. Of course, my family. I'm thankful for the hardships that has come, in my life. I feel that I've been in a real challenging season along with everyone else. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful for it because it's really I've I've had to really kind of uh, reprioritize things,
Yeah. Hmm.
and so I'm thankful for that, and thankful that I'm off and off this week, and I'm off on Black Friday, and I will not be shopping. I'm somebody
Oh,
that comes with a heavy retail background, and one of the things I said, I worked in retail for a combination of full time and part time, 15 years in retail. And I always had to work Black Friday. It was non negotiable. And I
mm,
said, the day I give up retail, I will not even shop on a Black Friday. I don't care
yeah.
if they're giving a flat screen TV that's
Yeah.
80 inches for $1. I'm not going to be Black Friday shopping. So,
I always went out on Black Friday, always, every
did
year.
you?
Not in the morning. I didn't fight any crowds. I usually went in the afternoon when
Yeah, when
everything
it
was
died down.
done. Yeah, that's when I would go. Except when I was in Arizona, I went in the morning and I went to stores that really didn't have much going on, but I went by
Okay.
myself. So I grabbed my coffee in the morning, threw my hair up in a bun and my sweatsuit on, and I went. And I had a great, I mean, I loved that was my downtime. I felt it was, honestly, there was no fighting the crowds. I didn't really fight the
And
crowds
you
because I
know
went to
what?
places I didn't have to go to.
There's a lot of people that I know that Black Friday was just like their jam, But for me, because I
Yeah.
came from a retail, um,
Yeah.
perspective, I'm like, oh, I don't want no part of it. But I'll be nice and toasty at home and
As
cyber
will I.
shopping. Yeah, cyber shopping, and it's all
Yeah.
good. What
Yeah.
about you, Angie? I'm gonna turn over to you and what you're thankful for.
Of course, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that right now, they are all safe and healthy. All my immediate family is safe and healthy at this point.
Amen.
Um, I am thankful that they are all trying to, this Thanksgiving, they're all trying to separate a little bit, and hopefully, everybody does stay safe. And I'm thankful, like you said, I'm thankful for waking up and being able to breathe and, and opening my eyes and being able to, you know, start this company that I've started and be at home working from home, um, and have that chance to start something
Absolutely.
that is going to hopefully help others with lung cancer. And I'm thankful for that, but that happened because of COVID, all of that. So
Mm,
I don't want to say I'm thankful for COVID, but I mean it's opened my eyes to other things, like you said. And so
yes.
it's opened my eyes to a lot of things, really. And I'm thankful for all of it. I'm thankful that me and my son will be in our PJs all day.
Ah,
Um,
that's life
Probably
right
all
there.
weekend long, right?
Yes,
PJs for
girl.
PJs for 4 days. Woo.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
I
yeah.
love it.
So I'm thankful that we'll spend time together, and
I love
he's
that.
excited. He's excited
Oh,
to have. He said mom and me time for the first time
he
since he was
did?
little. Yes, because I
He said
ordered
that? Oh my
yes,
God.
because I ordered, these holiday, things for the windows, these crafts to put together for the windows
Oh, that's fun.
and to paint, and so they came today, and so he said, "Mom and me time, mom and me time,"
Oh, that's
for the first
wonderful.
time, and I was like, "Ugh." So, like, right now, because he said that today, I can't think of anything else I'm thankful for. Um,
Hey, that's enough. I
like, oh,
mean, you
I
can
mean, because he's probably never gonna say that again. That was probably the last time, so I'm glad we got it on recording right here as
yes,
proof,
exactly. They heard it.
right?
Everybody heard it, you know?
Everybody heard it right here. Mom and me
Oh,
time.
that's
Yeah, just in
awesome.
case it's the last.
Oh my
Um,
God. Well,
yeah, yeah.
I hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving with your family.
You
And
too. You too.
thank you. And I wish the same to our listeners. We hope
Yes.
that you received value from what we shared, and we love your feedback um, in the podcast. If anything resonated with you, please, chime in. There's an opportunity to put some comments in. We read the comments. We love it. We are very
Yes.
engaging, and love to have your feedback. If there's a topic you want us to touch upon, please let us know. We're happy to kind of just open
Yes.
up that discussion. But
Email us. You can email us at
yes,
webswomen@gmail.com. Email
yeah,
us. Let us know that you wanna hop on maybe and you want to talk to us a little bit about a certain topic. We'd love to have you too. Um,
absolutely. Oh,
yeah.
speaking of topics, do you want to we have a guest speaker
You
coming
want to
up.
announce our December 2nd guest speaker?
I think you should. I think we both should, right?
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about our buddy.
Okay, so really quickly, we going to bring on an incredible powerhouse motivational speaker. I mean, this guy, Andrea and myself had an opportunity to meet with him at a conference
In Texas.
in Texas about 2 years ago, I think it was. And
Mhm.
he's just life changing. He is incredible. His name is Westley Morris.
Yes.
And he has an incredible story, which of course I'm not going to.
Well, I
Um,
will tell you, I call him the comeback kid.
okay,
So
yes,
that's what I call him, and he loves it. He does love that nickname, the comeback kid. So
I like
when we
that.
do have him come on, I'm gonna definitely announce him as the comeback kid.
And
But yeah, I mean, his story is definitely inspiring. It is something to be heard. Um, he's got a huge heart. This guy's got a huge heart,
he
and
sure
he's funny as
does.
all get out. He's funny too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really is. He's good
So I
people.
can't wait.
I
Yeah.
can't wait either. And he's actually one of our first male guests on our
Okay.
podcast. So
Yeah.
excited
We'll have
about
to
that.
mention that to him too.
Yes, he's the first,
He's
so
the first.
it's all good. So we're excited. So be sure to tune in. Check us out on our Facebook page if you're not part of it. We're gonna have a really nice introduction to him. Andrew's going to put together so you can get a little bit of insight of who Wesley is and encourage you to tune in. So
Yeah.
thanks so much, guys. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week. So remember, we are Web's Women.
Where exposure brings strength.
Take care. See you next week, girl.
All righty. Bye bye.
Bye.